Hello, welcome back to Lesson 2 of SCORE Basics. In the last lesson, we introduced the SCORE model as a process-based framework to help supply chain professionals design optimal processes and drive continuous improvement in their supply chains, and to take advantage of SCORE to perform financial and operational benchmarking using a slew of metrics that are made available in the model. We will be dealing with a lot of whats and whys in this lesson. So please be sure to watch till the end. I cannot emphasize how important this subject is to ensure that you use the SCORE model properly and apply it to your work area effectively. So please do not take this lesson lightly. Firstly, I would like you to understand what is business process management. Now, business process management, or BPM in short, is a structured approach to improving processes that help accomplish business goals. Now, these processes might include developing a new product, fulfilling product orders, for instance, managing customer service, or even assimilating a new employee. A single business process can involve hundreds or even thousands of tasks accomplished by people, by IT systems, by machinery, and outside providers. So a well-designed business process breaks these tasks into structured, repeatable steps in order to yield consistent results, predict resource allocation, and identify bottlenecks and weaknesses. Now, the BPM life cycle typically includes 5 steps. Firstly, you have design the ideal business process. Then you model the process in various scenarios. Then you implement the process and necessary improvements, after which you monitor the improvements and optimize the business process on an ongoing basis. So a well-executed business process management program can eliminate waste, cut errors, save time, improve compliance, increase agility, support digital transformation, and ultimately improve customer service. SCORE is a process reference for supply chain management, but SCORE is not the only tool that you use in BPM. It provides the definitions of each process in the supply chain, how it connects to one another and across functions and across organizations. It also defines how you can measure performance for each process and their sub-processes, what best practices you can consider to improve performance. It also provides you information on the type of people competencies that are required to perform the process, as well as the type of physical infrastructure like technology and other resources that are applicable. But please remember, you do not use SCORE alone. You use it along with other business process modeling tools. Now let's dive into the importance of process modeling, both in general and specifically within the context of supply chain processes. Maybe you've heard of business process modeling. You sketch out some boxes, and then you get some arrows between them, and it looks great. Well, that describes a particular area of your business and how it works. And then Maybe a group of fancy business analysts look at that, they shift some boxes around, and then voila, your business has been optimized. Really? Well, kind of, but process models, first of all, are not made manually by someone with a marker pen. They are produced by data mining algorithms. These algorithms analyze how a business process actually works by looking at the data. And it turns out that if you really understand how a business works, you can optimize it in some pretty amazing ways. So, we're going to define what business process modeling is, how business process models are made, what they show, and some benefits of this whole exercise.
A lot of people think about processes as a process diagram, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. There is much more information that goes into it than someone may expect. Imagine you're working at a bank and a customer is coming in for the first time. Usually, you have a small process like you agree to meet, you reserve a meeting room, prepare the documentation, and so forth. Then, at the end, you have a new client. However, if you look at the process in detail, it's not clear what shall be done, what are the expected work products, and tools to use. For example, if you agree to meet, then you will have notes of their wishes, you'll have to make a reservation, there will be a conversation protocol, and more. Now you know what is the expected outcome of the process, but it's not clear who's gonna do that. This is defined in various roles. The first 3 items are probably done by an assistant, and to make it simple, the rest is done by a consultant. Imagine you're the new assistant. Do you know what you are and aren't supposed to ask? Such as if the customer has a valid identification with him. We need to make sure that at each step, the appropriate role has the correct guidelines and checklists in place. If you have notes of wishes, reservations, etc., where do you store it? Would it be on sticky notes or on a specific tool like a CRM, Outlook, identity tracker? You need to know at each step what tool you're supposed to use. To improve your work, you need metrics. Start with simple metrics and count the work products, such as the number of visits planned and clients identified, then put them into relation. With that, you find out your success rate, how well you're doing in your processes, where there are gaps, and where you can improve. It can also happen that some of the steps in the process are regulated and need to be compliant with regulations, such as from FINMA or FED. Also, what happens if the client is a citizen of Iran, USA, or Korea? Are there additional things you have to do? As a consultant, you need to know which activities are mandatory. You also have to know if some have to be done for sure or if they're tailorable to a situation. This same thought goes for tools. Some tools are mandatory and others are not. In order to deploy a successful process in the long term, your processes need to be handled the same way, regardless of who's done it. Finally, let's try to think about what happens if we have a new rule from the FED. For example, they want to have a double identification instead of a simple identification. We now need to answer the question, which tools, activities, guidelines, and metrics are affected by this change? Now you can see the full iceberg for a simple process. And we never talked about special cases like, what happens if the client identifier was not valid? Should we call the police? Or what else should we do? A very simple process picture turned into a model with a lot of imagination, optimized for each practitioner to ensure that the right information is at hand at the right time.
So, you grow from just a few interconnected boxes into a more complex diagram with decision trees, swim lanes, and so on. Now, this is the essence of process modeling. Let us now discover why model your process in the first place. Process modeling is like creating a detailed map for your business operation. It provides clarity, alignment, and efficiency. Here's why you need it. Firstly, understanding complexity. Processes within an organization can be intricate, highly complex. Modeling breaks them down into manageable components. Just as a blueprint guides construction, process models guide execution. Secondly, visualizing workflows. Now imagine assembling a puzzle without knowing what the final picture looks like. Process models reveal the big picture. They show you how tasks flow, who's involved, and where bottlenecks may occur. Thirdly, standardization and consistency. Now, this is highly important. Process models establish standards. When everyone follows the same steps, consistency improves. Whether it's handling customer orders or customer inquiries or managing inventory, consistency matters a lot. Now, number 4, identifying gaps and redundancies. Models highlight gaps, which are essentially missing steps, and redundancies, which are repetitive steps. So fixing gaps ensures nothing falls through the cracks, and eliminating redundancies will save you time and resources. Number 5, effective communication. Process models are a universal language. We all know that. Whether you're talking to team members, stakeholders, or new hires, a visual model usually conveys information much more clearly. And there are also supply chain specific benefits. Let's zoom in on some supply chain processes. Let's look at optimized flow. Now, supply chains involve goods, information, and money. Modeling helps to optimize their flow. It helps you find bottlenecks, streamline transportation routes perhaps, and identify cost-saving opportunities. Next is adaptability. Supply chains face external changes in the form of new regulations, market shifts, or disruptions. Models allow you to adapt swiftly. Now, just as a GPS recalculates when you take a detour, supply chain models adjust to changing conditions. Number 3, meeting customer demand. Now, efficient supply chain planning ensures that products reach customers promptly. From raw material orders to final delivery, reliable processes keep demand and supply in harmony. Number 4, you have cost control. Models reveal cost drivers. Now, whether they are excess inventory, inefficient transportation, or lengthy lead times, addressing these areas saves money. And of course, you have risk mitigation. Supply chains encounter risk all the time in the form of natural disasters, geopolitical tensions, or supplier disruptions. Models help you prepare contingency plans and minimize its impact. Now, let us summarize what we've discussed so far. Process modeling isn't just about diagram. It's about unlocking efficiency, agility, and resilience. Now, whether you're orchestrating a symphony of supply chain processes or you are fine-tuning individual nodes, process models are your sheet music, your score. Remember, just as a composer shapes melodies, you shape your processes. So let's continue our journey towards supply chain excellence. Now, for more insights, stay tuned to SCM TV and don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button so that you can get informed whenever we have uploaded a new lesson. Now, see you in the next lesson where we will begin our journey in dissecting the score model in greater detail. Until we meet again, take care.